Don't you know what to do with so much sourdough? Stay in this video. I'm going to show you 2 simple recipes. Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming back to my channel, The Early Fair Cuisine. Today I'm going to share with you 2 recipes with a common ancient ingredient, sourdough starter. My sourdough starter is very young, it's barely 2 months old, but there are families and restaurants that keep sourdough with strains that are more than 100 years old. Cooking with sourdough has nothing particularly difficult or out of another world, but I think it is amazing how much life you can give to your recipes with just flour and water. The magic happens when you decide to make your own bread. To activate starter to achieve strength and maturity, sometimes we need to feed it for a period of time, which means discarding part of the sourdough to reactivate the strains. With this discard dough or leftover dough that is not very strong yet to make sourdough bread or artisan bread, it can be used in day-to-day recipes, practical recipes. The most remarkable thing is the characteristic flavor of tanginess in the recipes. The recipes we're going to prepare today are caramel apple cake and pecan and basil crackers. Let's continue with the recipe.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. Responsibly get your meals.
For the recipes we're going to make today, you can find the ingredients in the description box of this video. We're going to start with the caramel for the apples. Put a cup of sugar with 2 tablespoons of water and a tablespoon of lemon over medium-high heat until it begins to brown. Mix the sugar well and leave it without stirring until it begins to change the color. Once it takes the desired golden tone, quickly remove from the heat. Add the butter and mix quickly until it dissolves completely. Put caramel back over heat. When it boils again, add the vegetable milk. Let simmer for 1 more minute, then remove from heat. Then add 2 green apples or Granny Smith apples cut into cubes, mix well and let it sit. For the cake batter, we start by dissolving the sourdough with the vegetable drink that you have on hand. I usually use soy or coconut milk when the recipe involves cereals, as in this case, I'm going to use oat flour. Mix very well until the sourdough has completely dissolved, then add the oil, sugar, and vanilla essence. Mix very well until the mixture looks homogeneous. Add the almond flour, the oat flour, along with 2 tablespoons of ground seeds. Mix until the flour are well incorporated into the mixture. Finally, add cinnamon and incorporate well. Once the batter has the consistency, pour the caramelized apples into a mold. I'm using this rectangular mold because I cook for 2. For a round mold, double the cake ingredients except the caramel apples, just add 1 more Granny Smith apple to the caramel. In this part of the process, add a fresh red apple or another green apple to find 2 different apple texture. Now, pour the batter over the caramelized apples, level the mixture completely covering all the apples, let it rest for 2 hours to start the fermentation process a little bit. You can leave it for longer if you want stronger or more pronounced flavor in this cake. Bake in a preheat oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. This cake, it is very smooth with a lot of flavor. I use sourdough for 2 reasons. because I really like the distinctive tangy flavor and because sometimes I don't have commercial activities on hand. Remember, leave a comment, share with your family and friends to encourage more people to prepare food at home and thus reduce the use of disposable and food packaging. Now let's continue with the following recipe: whole wheat crackers with pecan, basil, and a blaze of garlic. We start with diluting the sourdough in vegetable milk or water you can replace. I particularly like to use soy milk for its protein content. For this recipe, I fed my sourdough 12 hours ago because I'm activating it to make an artisan or sourdough bread for sandwiches. Wait for this recipe coming up soon. I'm going to use approximately 1 cup of sourdough. I just need 2 tablespoons of starter base left to continue with the activation process. Once it is diluted with the milk or water, add the dry ingredients and knead well. You will need about 2 minutes of kneading for all the ingredients to be well incorporated. Make a very homogeneous bowl and let it rest for 2 hours so that the flavor of the sourdough develops a little. I suggest this spreading cream made with soft fermented tofu and green olives. Guess what? I have this recipe for you coming up soon too. To watch it later, in the link above, find the recipe for the easiest cassava dumplings with 2 different fillings to impress your family and friends. Let's start with this spreadable cream with crushing or finely chopping the green olives. These olives are a bit spicy because I had them marinated in olive oil, garlic, and cayenne pepper. You can add more garlic and cayenne pepper if you want the dip sauce spicier. In a bowl, mix the olives with the cultured tofu cream and a tablespoon of fresh or dry parsley. Store the cream in the fridge. It can last maximum 3 days in the fridge in an airtight container, although I doubt that there will be any cream left after you prepare it. It's time to bake the crackers. Roll out the dough on a flavor surface until a very thin sheet is left. I left it about a little bit less of 1/4 inch. Roll out the dough according to your preference. The thinner the dough, the faster it is to be baked. Transfer to a flavored tray and cut to size and shape the crackers. Prick the entire surface of the dough with a fork. Bake in a preheat oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. These crackers have a texture and flavor that reminds me of focaccia because of the basil and the garlic flavor. The kitchen smells of freshly baked bread, very pleasant. Go ahead and cook your own bread. It is so rewarding. You help to reduce the solid waste we generate by avoiding food packaging. You save money, you strengthen your culinary skills, and you make your family and friends fall in love with your dishes. Remember the spreadable cream and enjoy these nutritious and delicious crackers. Thank Thank you for watching this video until the end. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like, comment, and share. And I hope you're reducing, cleaning, separating the solid waste you generate in your house. Bye-bye.